Okay, that was a very generous 6 mastery sluice. So let's go to the Tangle now. And we're going to try and see if we can get revenge against the General for him wronging us.
Only resignation.
There's the creature den. There's the lair. We can get them both. So now that we don't need mastery anymore, we have all the mastery we could possibly want at our disposal. So we could go here, get the question mark, get the assistance, and then there. Grab the creature den, grab the lair, question mark, and then get the hospital after the lair. Perfect. Okay. That actually works out beautifully. No value to the watchtower. We know everything that is out in front of us. So, sorry, Dismas. Question mark. Oh, an early hospital. All right. Well, we can spend some money then, get rid of things, and have a last-minute hospital waiting for us if we need it. But we'll be able to get rid of the oozes and sepsis. Never punished for putting off going to the hospital. Never. Goodbye the oozes, goodbye sepsis, and then... Head in the sand is really bad. That's almost guaranteed going to be going away. Pyromania is pretty frustrating too, but we only get one right now, and Head in the Sand is that one. Hey, Stefan. I haven't seen Shuffle's take. I think my take is very similar. Although I question the combo generator. I think he's going to be a light combo generator and a heavy combo consumer. That's my gut feeling right now. I think we need more combo generators, but he doesn't strike me as the type. I think he's going to have his mark ability, which is good. Oh, Bullseye Bonanza hanging out. Haven't seen him in a hot minute. So yeah, I'm very suspicious of that. Oh man, this is going to be a pretty solid point-blank shot. Indeed it is.
A brilliant conclusion.
Yeah, so he had a mark in DD1, which you know, I mean, I could see them revisiting and adding that, but I don't see him being a huge user, and that's unfortunate because I think it would be great to have a character like that. So who knows? Maybe they will surprise us, and we'll have it. Yeah, Dismas, Breacher Dismas has been doing some work, to be sure. But yeah, I am very hopeful that we get a heavy combo generator, like control type character. I think that would be very cool. Let's see. I'm gonna fish for some crits here, see if we can get a little bit of something going on. Yeah, like he'll have a stun almost for sure. He will probably be a heavy hitter, especially with combo enabled. There's my crits. And my bonks. Oh, I forgot that he could do that. Oh well. We took 1 damage for it. I'm filled with regret. Tell me about it, Stefan. I want so many more characters, and I'm quite nervous that the roadmap doesn't have that many characters on it, and the speed at which they're rolling them out is not inspiring a lot of faith. But I want all the characters. I did have a real soft spot for the Shield Breaker. Yeah, unless they add a scroll button. They need to add a lot. There'd be a lot of UI changes that would be needed. I think version 1.0 we're just getting we're just getting the bounty hunter, and that will be what they release with for V1. Oh, interesting. Well, this is a weird instant replay. Oh yeah, Dark. I don't think it's totally hopeless. But I do think that it's going to be pretty unlikely that they're going to launch with more. That's all I'm kind of saying. Let's see. Let's just light them both on fire. Nice. Yeah, but I would love to see it. I'm very excited for that prospect. Let's see. Let's give this guy a bit more dot action to deal with. He's going to mark for death and then hip shot, and then we're going to make sure he doesn't get another action. That's what we needed, Stefan. For sure. Nice hit. All right, he's probably going... Oh, he's not going to Death's Door. Yeah, point-blank shot to the eye is my favorite kind of point-blank shot. I love how little our health bar moves when we take 16 damage. That is its own special kind of magic. 11, you're super dead. I didn't realize he gains 30% damage on death, it looks like.
On to the next.
Actually, I don't think he used to have Death's Door. I think they changed Barnacle, Bullseye Barnacle, whatever his name is, to have Death's Door. Because I vaguely remember him not having Death's Door and me thinking that was weird. Maybe I'm wrong, though.
The past is gone.
Oh, actually, I think it's the Shroud bad guy that I'm thinking of that has that. I'll grab the boxing gloves. The rest I'm going to leave, though. Yeah, it's the I don't remember the name of him, but the Shroud enemy that has that is the similar, like, upgraded version of the normal Shroud mob. Taking a bunch of stress for not going there. Very unfortunate. Ooh, I would love some mineral-rich spring water. That would be very much my preference here. Obviously, we don't need the stress heal. Although last time, a big part of our undoing was the fact that the game was like, "Oh, you want to go to the Oasis? Half of your team is going to take relationship damage from that." Yeah, the one with the pirate hat, Stefan. That is the one that I am thinking of. Yes.
To the next.
Let's see. I think we just add on there. Yeah, the fact that he doesn't have Death's Door is weird. Very weird. We're not worried about front mortar because the Poet Leper is the perfect counter to front mortar. Okay. The other perfect counter to front mortar is just apparently an obscene amount of blight. Dismas is pumping some damage though, for sure. How's our relationship building doing? It's bad enough that I will ounce here.
Collaboration confers advantage.
Fishing for that little bit of goodness. Okay, well he's dead. If we could get the leper a stress heal, I would do it. No, he's not dead. We're not... we will... We will if we leave this for 2 turns, which I think I'll do. Hello, Positive Tokens. How you doing? The positive and negative tokens are pretty spectacular at the moment. Yeah, we're gonna Solemnity anyways, so I'll just do this. And this guy dies of natural causes, but not before Dismas absolutely obliterates him. 33-point Grape Shot Blast. I think that's the biggest Grape Shot Blast I've ever had. That's pretty solid.
This work is noble and necessary.
I think things are going okay for the team so far. Knock on wood. This is overconfidence territory. Whoops. That heater shield is definitely worse than the other heater shield that I'm also going to throw away, because we're not going to take a heater shield into the Seething Sigh. Oh good, no one agrees. Fantastic. This relationship is going to take longer to build, but I'm just over fighting it, and I really do want the mineral rich spring water, so I'm going to do it that way. Grape Shot at point blank. Yeah, mostly that was due to the Cursed Coin, which is 5% damage per positive token. We had 35, 20, 30, maybe 30 damage from that all by itself, which was pretty solid. What's our torch is riding high. Yeah, so Breacher has been really nice with the extra tokens, causing our initial salvo to be pretty sweet when it hits. But Red Hook loves putting a dodgy boy right in the rank 1 just to ruin our fun. It is tradition after all. Ooh, I don't like the shell shock. I would have happily gone the other way on that one. 5, 10. All right, I think that secures the kill. Yeah, easy.
A miscalculation, perhaps.
There definitely remove combo abilities. I don't remember if any of them are. I'm anticipating a watchdog here. I think they might all be self only, like self remove, but I would need to check that. I didn't want the doggo doing its riposte thing. That's very annoying. We're losing our turn on the leper thanks to Pyromaniac, which I don't like. Pyromaniac strips you of your turn, unlike Field Medic, which does not. So it's not the worst, but it certainly could be better. Let's see, and then 5, 9. I think we're better off killing her. So the Fire Breather has high fire resist. That's why I didn't. That's the only reason I didn't. Also, the Fire Breather was going to be dead anyways. They're both dead? Yeah, so let's just fish for crits.
Messy.
Return to sender, Stefan. I like it. This is 5% chance to crit. This is 10. We'll go with the 10. 2 can play at that game, indeed. Alright, we didn't get the stress heal on Baldwin. I am slightly sad about that. But
abandoned or forgotten.
But now that we don't really need mastery anymore, we have more than our fair share. Let's see. I mean, I guess I'll let the team choose where we go from here, but it's, oh no, it has to be up the left side. Oh, I'm glad I glanced. You and Dismas. All right, you can afford to take it. We can afford to lose some torch, so that's fine.
Unexpected find.
Okay, yeah, we have to go left. Okay, we're hugging the left for the remainder until we potentially make it to
Never in question. Only the route
to where we're going.
there.
All lefts. We're no longer an ambi turner.
They had honor once.
That's like a you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours,
Nothing at all.
Stefan, but with bleeds. Oh. This is our third Bullseye Barret. I'm impressed.
A slow
All dots for sure.
unavoidable end.
We're gonna get uncontrolled hits from Bullseye Barret. Oh no, they're not. They're gonna go on Dismas. Never mind. That avoids block. Unfortunate. A crit token, you say? You're already roasted, right? Yeah, you're roasted.
A brilliant conclusion.
I was thinking of something interesting I could do here. I think I just spread the fire. What's his Death Store resist? 48. All right, we'll keep hammering away. All right, we won the coin toss. And this guy's already dead, so I think we Solemnity here because we have the one taunt token we need to take care of this guy. Seven for 2 does get him on Death's Door, but no further, so... The last block token was really nice there. Oh, why did she take that? What are you doing? What's your plan? We're gonna use Cauterize to clean it up. Not that we wouldn't have regened it in the first foot and a half after we left the station, but this guy's hanging on for dear life.
Slow suffering begins.
No more, though. No more.
Cut down these nightmares and blaze the trail to your redemption.
Blaze the trail to my redemption, aka my resentment. Okay, we want to hang on to that kind of stuff. This is looking real good for the final zone. I don't think milk-soaked linen, though, is part of the equation, nor ablative powder. I don't think fishing nets. I think I hung on to those way too long. I will say I haven't played a lot of the Runaway lately, and smokescreen being usable from any rank was such a massive buff to the class.
Early results are encouraging.
Let's get the extra damage out on him.
Section. An unavoidable end.
I know Asterica. Tell me about it. There's so many classes that I wanted before the Bounty Hunter, but I'm gonna be excited for any new class. I can't pretend that there isn't. I'm not interested. I think they'll do a beautiful job with the Bounty Hunter. I think he'll be really cool. So I can only be so upset. But yeah, it's not the class I would have chosen. Amuga, I hear ya. I hear ya. It's been fun seeing the new classes come in. And, you know, we were talking about it a little earlier in the stream. I think, generally speaking, it's really... There's things that the game needs, right? There's certain structures of characters that we don't have. And, like, you know, from my perspective, I think we are a little short on combo generation right now on the roster. And I don't think the Bounty Hunter is going to fully address that. But we'll have to wait and see. Maybe they'll take the Bounty Hunter and go a different direction with it. That could be really cool. Stefan, I'm not sure what that would even look like. I'm super curious about it. But so both positive and negative trinkets and skills. So can you give an example of what that would necessarily look like? I'm super curious. Sounds like it would be a lot of RNG. Yeah, new healers and new stress healers were very, very high on my list of things that I wanted. Perhaps more than anything else. That's a great point, Dark Mage. Oh, Hellion Coward. I gotcha now. Let's see. You and Bonnie. Or excuse me, you and you. Okay. I'll take this for the chance at a bunch of goodies.
Poor devils roam aimlessly amidst the trees.
Yikes.
Your coach is laden. You can carry no more.
I can carry no more. We're not going to need the slime mold anymore. We're not going to need the clarifying poultice. My time in the desert. I'll take things that do basically nothing for us for 200, Alex. There we go. And then off to the creature den we go. Yeah, there's a lot of RNG in building a run like that, Stefan, that I think would make it particularly challenging. Especially since you can't remove positive quirks, right? So, opportunists. Do like one-shotting Ordained Fools, though. That feels pretty solid. I also like that I don't think the dog can watch, can use its guard on turn 1, which is an interesting thing. Yeah, I mean, we have the Antiquarian in game. I would love it if they did that treatment with more characters too, as a side note. Yeah, it's only the boss and the ordainment. Which, I mean, I understand why they went that way, and I'm looking forward to more... I hope that there's another zone that shows up at some point. Adding the Shroud was a huge content infusion, and I'd love to see one more of those. But, let's see, 8, 7. Oh, thank you for the follow. Much appreciated. Let's see. Yeah, we'll see if we can light her up. Okay, those two are extremely roasted. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I want all the classes. I loved the Flagellant. The Flagellant was just a little broken. I think that was the only problem with the Flagellant. And I understand why the structure of the game is what it is. I think that it's possible that the ordained modifiers could become pretty interesting in the late game. Like, the later chapters could be really, really strong modifiers that I think would be pretty interesting if they decided to go that way. What would the new region address? We're not gonna get the stress heal on Baldwin. I'll fish for a crit here. So yeah, so I would love to see. I don't remember who said it last time, but if you're in chat today, someone mentioned going through the old Hamlet as another sluice alternative could be really, really cool. So having a new sluice equivalent, so you had like 2 intermediate short zones that you could run during a run, would be really cool. Well, at least everyone agrees that we're going to go ahead with this. Bonnie, what's your... Do we have any relationships that are particularly bad? It looks like... Yeah, Paracelsus. We'll do Paracelsus. This gives us the 2 relationships that they need to build. Yeah, a stress-specific one would be cool. Ooh, man. Elite, we haven't had an elite creature den in a hot minute. Wow. Paracelsus going first, too? This is interesting. I love that I get to knock the dodge off there. That must have been an incredible roll to make that happen. I think a vampire style zone would be super cool too, though. That would be a really fun one. Oh, I did just realize this guy's gonna eat a corpse if I'm not careful. Not much I can do about it. Guess get the pre-blind in. Yeah, Crimson Court style zone could be super neat. Would have its own disease for sure. I knew that stun was coming. I could smell it a mile away.
Steady yourself.
Nice hit. Solid. I think the Crimson Court would make a better sluice style zone than it would make like a regular zone, if I'm thinking out loud. Like I think that it would be a pretty... Wow, Plague Doctor went first round and last this round? That's kind of uncanny. The Farmstead was cool as well, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna try and get this guy going. Oh, it's an interesting idea, Stefan. Tokens and stress. Let's see if we can get a combo going. Oh, that's nice. Dismas being blind is a bummer here. I'm gonna burn the blind off with a bear trap. I don't think it's that important that we hang on to it. And that means that we can return the stun to the powers that be. Yeah, the blood is really bad. It used to be, at least. I remember from the last time that I played with it, it was pretty awful.
Opportunity squandered.
Good hit. This is only the first half of this fight, as a side note. Elite creature dens are scary. I wish I could indiscriminate science right now. The blue path? Which one is the blue path?
A simple variable.
I feel like I missed the memo on that one.
Resolved.
Yeah, Amaga. That is, I think that's on a lot of people's lists, for sure. I want to get the heal off here before we go too much further. The road travel is not particularly rewarding, is one of the problems, for sure. So I'm gonna kind of use this as a setup turn. Have we still not crossed the threshold of being able to heal you? We have not. No, I don't even have an indiscriminate science on the board anyways, so it doesn't really matter. Almost got there. Gonna withstand to prep for next turn, and then I think, yeah, Dismiss is gonna go, and I'm gonna just immediately kill, I think. Hate missing out on Dismiss's damage here, but this is a pretty nasty, nasty crew, all things considered. I'm curious about how big Solemnity will be if I let it tick down that far. I'm already maxed on stun. I'm going to try the push on that guy. I think it's better to get them like that. It gives me the almost kill on the Spoder. Okay, Dismiss, you don't need to take hits for our Leper. Our Leper is fine. We would prefer you not to take hits on the for the Leper. 41-point battlefield medicine.
Welcome relief from caustic agony.
Seems like a good theory, Stefan, for sure. Okay, I think we finish that spider and set up for something better next turn.
An opportunity.
Using that linseed oil just to remove things. Okay, I will in just 1 second, R. My pleasure. Also, welcome to the chat. So currently the Highwayman is using Cursed Coin, which is insane. Like, such a strong trinket. The 5% damage per positive token is very, very strong. And then also Greater Sharpness Charm. The combination is pretty deadly. He's been pumping some pretty sick numbers here.
Mistimed.
Until he gets blinded like that, but I knew that guy was going to eat. There was nothing to do about it. Should we do that? I'll let the Plague Doctor heal Dismas so that I can get the blind to potentially cancel out the crit token. Stack up the last bit of taunt. I'll put a little bit of weakness here. Hey, Emerald, welcome. Good to see you as always. Thanks for coming in and saying hi. All right, toss that there.
Generosity, but a welcome one nonetheless.
Yeah, totally are. It's been a very fun combo. Doing that for the stun just to buy us some time. Ooh, a resist on that from an alchemist, no less. Breacher, Stefan. So thanks to Breacher, our Highwayman gets 2 improved block and 2 improved strength at the beginning of combat, which then has the natural result of giving us lots of tokens to work with. Gosh, we're moving slow here, to say the least. I'm gonna do that just to see if we can get the weakness to further mitigate the crit token. And then I'm gonna try and get rid of the spider, I think. I waited a little too long too, I think. That was a terrible hit.
One less obstacle in our path.
Still crit for 6. No slouch. You gonna eat now? You're gonna eat. I knew he was gonna eat. Wow, we did a terrible job with this fight. A truly abysmal job. Might as well remove the defense with a dot. I think I definitely need to get highway robbery going on Dismas. We have plenty of taunt, so I guess I'll just take my 2 to 4. Well struck indeed. Well struck indeed. And then I'm leaving the combo up here so we can get another stun. That's my plan. Yeah, Stefan, we haven't found a better trinket combination for the leper, so the leper's just sitting on a stupid amount of HP and very little else. It is the thing that robbed him of his strength is the misstep. 75% max damage, 75% max HP minus 50% damage. It's good for giving him 130 HP, but that's about all it's good for. I think what's the ordering here? You're gonna die anyways. Guess he might not die. We'll see. Yep, 0 bonk man-at-arms. Now we have 0 bonk leper. The bleed is honestly nice. Yeah, we'll get everybody all tuned up here. No problem. I want Baldwin to get the Solemnity. That's the last thing on the list. Yeah, oh, or the Hellion too. It is a pattern of mine apparently. Hey Patrick. Barristan would be proud, wouldn't he? All right, well, we came out of it looking good, but holy cow, that was the longest creature down. We pick up the mastery, discount on combat items. Discount on combat items before the final area is probably the best. Although I always just bring heals in, so I don't know that I'm looking for anything in particular. I like all of the stuff that I have here. I do think I used up my last bear trap on Dismas. And I'll toss some caltrops there, but I probably don't want to use them. We are coming up on an exemplar fight shortly. I don't think I need the boxing gloves or the medicinal herb. That's a good point, Stefan. He is the bonk king.
They stand guard even now, deathless and dreaming.
Is this our fourth Barret? I think it is. I think this is literally our fourth Barret. That would be curious, Stefan, for sure. He's only got one eye. It's true. I'm a little nervous. I think Dismas is about to take a very big hit from Barret here. Because he's going to mark for death, and then that's going to remove... Oh. Hello, Barret. Hello, Barristan. No, not Barristan. Oh, you're all over the place, my dude. Baldwin was what my brain was thinking and not saying. Holy cow. We're just going after our survivor like it's going out of style. I mean, your eye falls out, presumably, Stefan. It's that, or it's the mask that he uses to hide his twisted face, just makes it so he can't see very well. I could see that being the lore as well.
A slow dissection, an unavoidable end.
Dismas is unamused.
A brilliant conclusion. Let us hope to finish this quickly.
10, 9, you're all done. Put that there. Yeah, I could see it just being that the mask's eye slits make it so he basically can't see anything. I mean, the Plague Doctor's got goggles, right? So the Plague Doctor has much better vision than the two small eye slits of the leper. That's what I'm going to stick with. I do not think the lore is always that consistent. Yeah, Dark, I still do not think that the Runaway is particularly strong. But she certainly is better after the most recent balancing patch. The flexibility that was added to where you can use her abilities from has made a huge difference in how well she plays. I still think she could use a little bit of love, though. I wouldn't want to claim otherwise. I like her in rank 2-3, but the big changes that they made is specifically Smokescreen can be used anywhere, and it is insanely good. And then a few other abilities, I think, got shifted around as well. Ransack can be used anywhere, which is really nice. I think those were the 2 changes that they made. But yeah, she's pretty solid. I don't think she's too terrible. 3 to 6? Sure, I'll go for it. The Runaway is advertising for the Sprawl. I like that piece of lore as well. That's pretty solid. Let's see, I want that, and the rest I will leave. It's support, healing, and dots. That's her 3. That's the 3 things that I use her for, and she does passably at all of them. Unfortunately, in the final fight, you're not getting a lot of bleeds, so it's harder to use her heals, but you can still use them. Let's see. You and Baldwin, I don't really want you taking the hit. You can take the hit with Baldwin. Yeah, this is too much relationship damage otherwise, so I'm going to do this. The no action. So we're going to get revenge on the general. So actually, for the general, this is where I want... Doesn't really matter what combat items we put on, but I think we're going to swap these to here. And you can take... We can just use that up. I'm going to save the smoke bombs for the final area. And then just in case we need them, I'm going to put the caltrops here. Actually, wait, I can... Now that I think about it, I can use that instead as a caltrop. Hero Wars on YouTube. Never played Legends of Runeterra. I have not. I think I've heard of it. Is that the one that's based out of the League of Legends universe? Is that the one that am I thinking of the right one? I feel like Runeterra is the League of Legends world. Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of it. Is it solid? I think I remember when it first came out, but I never really took a look.
The slow suffering begins.
Stealing away my my tokens. Doesn't matter.
On to the next.
Doesn't matter. Nice and flashy. I mean, I do like flashy games. I'm very mechanics driven, though, I will say. If there is one thing that I am going to focus on, I like a game that has good mechanics. A game that I really, really loved is Circadian Dice. I don't know if anyone has had an opportunity to play that before. I played it a few times on stream. The mechanics of it, so fun. Unfortunately, pretty ugly game. Didn't get a lot of interest on YouTube or Twitch, despite it being incredibly fun. Yeah, I don't like the pay-to-win games. That's my only frustration. Let's see, you're roasted. Yeah, for sure. Zero pay-to-win? That's good. That is very good indeed. All right, we're just gonna strip the dodge there. Get the big old dot rolling. Right. I don't think of Hearthstone as particularly pay to win. Also, the versions of Hearthstone that I am most interested in are not the draft, or the draft versions are much more interesting than the like collect all the cards version. I really have no interest. Oh, that was Heroes of War, Stefan. Got it. That's unfortunate. Let's do this because I think probably this guy's... Oh, he can't guard anyone, right? Because he's all by himself. Poor little pupper. Oh yeah, you're just roasted. Never mind. That is the way I think games should be designed generally, Dark. I'm a big fan of pay for aesthetics. So if you love a game, you can kind of invest money in it, whatever, but you don't have to. Okay, have we done all the things we needed to do? We're going to be using Intimidate and items to get the... Mostly Intimidate to keep the growth back. So I think we're all set. And we just want as much damage as humanly possible for the general. Oh, I just thought of something. I bet Backdraft is really good against the general. Because it would hit the taproot as well. That's interesting.
A general and his loyal lumbering guard.
Antagonistic force. Exactly. To each their own, right? Right, Dark? I think people should be able to play games the way that they want to play them. I am a firm believer in that. And if they want to pay for cosmetics, cool by me. I probably didn't need to do that. Magnesium Rain might have been smarter since this guy was already going to be roasted. Oh, good. Oh, no actions for our leper this turn.
An unavoidable end.
Dismas, though, is not messing about. Yeah, absolutely are. I will happily do that. Let me get right on that. Happy to do it. I'll mouse over each one so that you can get individual screenshots. So here's them with no tooltips. Here's with the cursed coin as the tooltip. Screenshot now. And here's with the greater sharpness charm. Screenshot now. There you go. Hope you got them. Let me know. And if you missed it for any reason, highly recommend. You should be able to rewind in the VOD and get what you need. Awesome. Happy to help. Happy to help. And now comes... Oh, there's 2 of the stress healing I was gonna hold out for. I'm still gonna milk this, looking for some stuff. Let's see. I can still get 1 stress healing here, so I probably will. Riot has always had a knack for following the money. Not to throw any shade, because I love Riot, but yeah, back in the day, you could spend a lot of money on League of Legends very effectively. You still can. You can still amass quite the skin collection, to be sure. Wow, Death's Door. Did not see that coming. It's gotten worse. Is such a thing even possible? Slay the wounded. So he's going to do his AoE frontline attack. That's fine. The Eternals in League. No, I have not. Oh yeah, R. It is great. It is absolutely solid.
And carelessness. All marks of the unprepared.
We're gonna do some work on the Seething Sigh, I reckon. Ooh, we're getting a penance. That could be good for business. Assuming we can get the kill fast enough. That'll be the one thing. Almost there. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, unfortunately though, with Breacher, we can't open with take aim. So or we get stuck on the front. obviously. So let's see. We only need a little more to kill you, so I will probably just zap you. 12, 11, you dead. You dead, sucker. Do this for the stun. It's too hard to pass up. I would have switched those crits given choice. But this fight is all but over. He's at 12, so we need just a little more to push him over the edge. Oh, interesting. Stats for champions is locked behind a paywall. That seems a little ridiculous. Just so we don't end up with any awkward drummer explosions. And there you go.
Persistence will overcome even the greatest of threats.
Oh, interesting. Okay, what are we getting offered here? We got Footman's Grog, which stinks now. We have Tormenting Locket, which we've already seen once. We have Trinket Price Reduction. And we're going to do this just for the mastery, but we don't really need it. Not too much, Jason. This has been like the longest tangle in the history of tangles, I feel like.
Undying into a dream, and there he must stay.
We're just cruising. Gonna smoke screen. Getting the blind up is generally good for business. Am I gonna stun him? No, I'm not. So let's use this to lay in on a good blind for him. Everyone takes a stress because he missed. Can we talk about that for a second? Jason, so my connection says excellent. I might hit the reload button just to see if that fixes it up. Because there were some minor issues before, but it could just be your connection. I'd give it a quick reload and see. Okay, I'm gonna use up the bear trap here. Oh yeah. I think this is a take aim for the reasons that we described before. We get so many positive tokens that the damage should be off the hook. Let's see, we've already got taunt. Let's weaken him. And then Plague Grenade for the second pushback and a bit more blight. But this general is going to have a bad time, I think. Hit the leper, though, please, General. Hit the leper. That's what I want. Come on. Yes. Good on you. Perfect. That means we get all of our tokens on Dismas, which is going to be a very fun hit. What do we think we're going to hit for with Pistol Shot? Before I check it. I'm going to say we're going to hit for 47. 30. What? With all those tokens? Dang. That's disappointing. 30 here too. 23 there. That was way less than I expected it to be. Boo. I know, seriously. I'm shocked. I felt like we had all the tokens. Gonna go for the blind again. Keep the mitigation rolling. Oh, get off, Dismas. Yeah, I didn't have I don't have it upgraded. That's the only problem, R. But otherwise, yeah, it would have been a good one for sure. Let's see. Do we have withstand back up again? No, so we're just gonna do that. Oh, vulnerable. That's what I was missing, Jason. Now that you mention it, I'm like, yeah, obviously, that's what I needed. Okay, we're gonna use the death caps. I probably should save that for the exalt, not exalted. My brain is once again failing me. The exemplar. Probably should have saved the death cap for the exemplar, but did Dismas not get a stress heal from either of his crits? It looks like he didn't. Huh. We're getting close to the end, so I'm just gonna pop Solemnity here to get us cleared up a little bit. Settle down, you. We're not getting another Solemnity here, I don't think, unless he decides to be very resilient. Okay, he does.
Anxiety foments insidious fears.
Doing that so that I get the Solemnity, while still pushing back one of the growths. Don't push on Dismas. All right, thank you. Wow. He's really going to town, isn't he? All right. Good enough. Unfortunately, Dismas is just going to be a cranky boy for the remainder of the trip. I don't think we're taking a single thing from this. I think I'm about to throw away all of it, but yeah, Footman's Grog no longer good because they took the 25% damage off. We're not a melee Dismas, so this goes away. That's trash. That's trash. Poultice's stacking is not useful. Which trinkets did you want to take a look at, Jason? Happy to bring up any of them, but is there a particular one that you have your eye set on? Oh, we have a lot of money now, don't we? We don't need many baubles right now because we're gonna have the maximum discount. So do that. Oh, the ones you just threw away. Sorry. You'll have to go to the VOD for that one. I apologize. I thought you were talking about the trinkets that were on us. Let's see. We should spend money on getting rid of some of these negative quirks. Yeah. So sorry folks, we're going to take a right here. Why us? Why me? Says Dismas. Hang in there, buddy.
Joints ache and muscles
Okay,
burn.
no diseases.
Body requires attention.
Scatterbrained is pretty bad for the final fight. Pyromania is super annoying because we lose turns on our tank. Get rid of that, and then... Plus 10% damage is not that great, and gain on attack 15. The vulnerable's pretty spooky. So I'm going to take care of that, and then we'll leave the rest. Burn Salve is stacking pretty high. A 10% heal on the final boss for burning targets is pretty solid. I'm going to grab the Soothing Poultices, though, instead. And Restorative Herbs for the healing is good. And then I'll call it there. Cranky Dismiss is going to be cranky some more. Yeah, Footman's Grog used to have a 25% damage reduction on it in addition to converting negative tokens to their positive equivalent. So weakness to strength and weakness to strength and what was the other one? I don't remember. My brain is at half capacity. This is very spooky, though. I'm extremely worried that Dismiss is gonna end up taking a dive here from stress, and I don't know if there's much we can do. Yeah, vulnerable to block. Thank you, Jason. I took some cold medicine before stream, and I think it is actively messing with my brain. And the Herald is going to get to go, so before we have a chance to do much with it. So it's going to hit Dismiss. It might do Trumpet. There's a small chance. Nope. Spooky. I think I need to get him off the front row. Anyone taking a hit, though, could totally ruin our fun. Are you dead? 10, you are dead. Okay. Oh, unless the altar regens you. Okay, what's the play here? Let's see. Oh yeah, the cops are always on me. I'm going to I'm gonna keep pressing forward here, as weird as this looks potentially. Don't Dismiss, don't do it. Okay. I'm going to take aim because I think it's the best way for us to get some stress healing, assuming we make it that far.
A slow dissection. An unavoidable end.
This crit could push Dismiss over the edge, though. Holy cow. Probably didn't need the taunt because these only do the standard things. Okay, Dismiss. Please, for the love of... Oh, wrong direction. Nicely done. Stress heal? Stress heal? Okay. We have a tiny window of opportunity. We're probably going to get a meltdown on the next fight, though. I can't imagine that we don't take 2 stress on him. Stress heals, though. But seriously, stress heals. Okay. Shoot corpses, get stress heals. Okay. We got the stress heal. Not the way I envisioned it, but... Really should have put highway robbery on Dismas. I forgot completely. What is going on with you that you just pick up a stress every turn, it seems?
An opportunity squandered.
Keep those stress heals coming, please. No? Okay, well, we're doing an exemplar, and it might not be great. If Dark Impulse, gain on hit 3 heal minus 50% max HP. I don't think I'm going to be using that. Oh, and Ordained. This is very scary just because of the taunts. We gotta kill the cherub. It can't live, but we need to drop the smoke screen first. Oh wow. Alright. Sorry, Dismas. The fall's gonna be bad.
Anxiety foments insidious
Okay.
fears.
This will light them both on fire, so I think we go with that. Oh, already taking that guy out? That was fast.
Quickly. Welcome,
Didn't really expect that to happen that quickly. Okay, that's fine. That's not fine. Can someone stress heal Dismas for the love of all that is holy? I'm begging anyone. Give me that stress heal. I'm beside myself about the lack of stress heals from critting. Like, there it goes. There's the meltdown. I worked so hard to try and avoid that. That was insanity. I mean, you know, the challenges are fun and interesting. What can I say, Dark? I like the challenge of playing non-standard comps. If if people want me to, I can change it up, and I could just play meta comps all the time, 24/7, and have, you know, have very different outcomes. But what fun would that be? Let's see. Are you already dead? 5 and 6. I can't have you do that. I need this. That's a stunned exemplar. All right. The Plague Doctor can get the finish off the Herald here. Yep.
A slow dissection. An unavoidable end.
That was a little scary.
A slow suffering.
I did not expect the front rank hit there. All right, Dismas is getting some revenge here. I really need a feast in this next area. Oh, I left. Oh, okay, I was gonna say I left them open. I didn't have a taunt up. That was a little dangerous.
Cut down
All right, well,
fires.
what doesn't kill us?
The trail to your redemption.
I don't think Spoken Sharply is gonna get us any awards here. Although maybe with Bumper Crop it's enough. But what are we throwing away? Okay, so Spoken Sharply. Gain on hit 3 heal. No. Bulwark Band is good, but not good enough. You're sticking with this, unfortunately, unless we come up with some amazing trinkets in the next area. Stun 1 is not that interesting. Healing given and received. No, so both of those go. I'll keep the trinket prices just in case there's anything to get rid of. We can get rid of the stale bread. And I mean, I'm loving where we are on consumables. Like, I think that's the best thing we have going for us right now. So Dismas didn't lose any of his relationships, to my knowledge. They're all teetering on the edge, though. So we're hoping for a feast and maybe even like a songbook of whichever the one that gives 2 pips of party friendship. Also, did Kelly and Paracelsus never mend? They didn't. They're still 1 away. Wow, that's been a long time coming. But yeah, we have a lot of hit points. We have a lot of healing, so we should be relatively in good shape for the final boss. The fights on the way up are going to be a little awkward. Hard skinned on Paracelsus, Devout, and Chatterbox. That's all fine.
And rest.
Okay, so Mastery. We picked up 9 points there. That's interesting. What do we got in here?
Lead to the mountain.
Feast free since 93, and as per usual, absolute garbage when we have the trinket discount. We will take the triage kit. Take the smoke bomb.
Tools of violence. Despicable and dangerous.
Take the whetstone. Take the poultice. Yeah, and then we're going to have a meltdown probably before we even get to the final fight, is my suspicion, just because we don't have a lot of opportunities to generate goodwill between here and there. But let's start figuring out what we're doing here. So I want apples here, steak and spuds here and here, apples here. Crits are going on Dismas. Fire resist is going on all on Baldwin. And then, wow, do we have a lot of restorative herbs. And then who do I want to be speedier? One of the people I gave steak and spuds, probably. I don't mind it when you're fast. 15 speed. Wow, we got lucky on that speed roll. And then I think 2 herbs for Baldwin and Dismas. And 1 for each of you. Okay. Risotto herbs, that would be delightful. Herbed risotto? I'll take 2, please. Deals 50% of remaining fire to monster in front as damage. Oh, so Backdraft moves forward. Interesting. I feel like I should have known that. We're gonna upgrade Chop. We're gonna upgrade everything we needed. We're gonna grab Indiscriminate Science. Cause of Death is pretty good on the final fight as a just in case me. Double Cross isn't terrible in the right circumstances. We'll grab Cauterize. We'll grab Ransack. Ruin can be really good if we can manage to get it off, which we usually can't. Intimidate should really give a 3rd taunt. I feel like that would be quite the difference maker. For the final fight, we might use Double Tap because Pistol Shot we're not going to be getting much benefit from. There's a part of me that's like, maybe we should just go Open Vein. I'm probably going to put Open Vein on our bar, just because dots are so strong against the Psy, and we'll call it there. Anything else? We have a tiny bit of stress that we can get rid of.
A bit of comfort on the road to damnation.
You are erudite now, Dismas. Congratulations. No relationship building. No relationship building whatsoever. And now we need to... These we're going to use for the initial fights. I want to keep our healing items for the Psy. So we'll put those there. I guess put those there. Actually, I think it's better to put that like that. All right. That's more healing than we will ever need for 7 mountains, though. But let's get into it. Well, have I forgotten anything else? Did I do skill swaps? I did not on you. This is all good. This is all good. We'll swap Purge later. Yep, 130 HP Baldwin. We could have gone higher if we'd done Stake and Spuds, but I like the debuff resist.